Hello there! It's COVID update by Heerak show for August 16, 2020. Who doesn't like Christmas in the summer, right? Christmas in August. But it seems like it may be Merry Christmas to President Trump. You know, he got that peace deal signed between Israel and United Arab Emirates this week. A lot of Arabs are happy. A lot of Israelis are happy. A lot of Jews are happy. You know, so it's like Christmas gift, you know, to Trump. You know, and in Israel they don't even celebrate Christmas. You know, they're processing on Christmas Day because it's the Jewish state. But hey, you know, they gave President Trump, you know, his Christmas gift early. You know, President Trump said, "We will say Merry Christmas," and he wrote that to the bank on 2016 election, right? His signature calling. He's like, "Can I get a 5, American people? We will say Merry Christmas again." And he got a 5 from the American people. Yeah. Who's just like really getting into the mood? Even Harry's getting in the mood. Look at his head bobble. Leo is smiling. Oh. And Ducky, I love Ducky. Ducky, it's Christmas every day for Ducky. You know, Christmas fills us with love, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, we have like a red nose, red body reindeer. And you know, for us, it seems like you know we're going to be having a fun couple weeks. We have Democratic convention coming up this week. It should be a lot of laughs, you know, and fun. And week after that, we have it's a long song, but everybody likes it, you know. Oh, it's like, you know, 14 days of Christmas for us, you know, with, you know, with Democratic, you know, convention. It's entertainment for a week. You know, late night comedians will have a lot of material to laugh about. And the whole 330 million Americans will have a lot of things to laugh about. Give me 5 on Laughter for USA this week. Yeah, it's like Comedy Central. And then a week after that, we have, you know, the U.S. Postal Service hearings. That should be fun. That may actually be another Christmas gift for President Trump. You know, well, let's see. You know, he seems to be on a lucky streak. It's like royal flush. But before we get started, let's check your temperature. Ah, it says 333. Oh, I don't know. That seems like a little bit low temperature, you know, 33.3 Celsius. But hey, you know, it is Christmas. So I can maybe a little bit cooler. But you may want to go and get yourself checked by a doctor, you know. 33.3 is the kind of temperature you use for targeted um, temperature management. When you get like a heart attack, out of hospital cardiac arrest, like heart attack at home, and you're like basically dying, brain is dying, everything is dying. You get to the hospital, they lower your body temperature to like 30 degrees to 33 degrees Celsius in order to ensure that your brain cells won't die. Because once your brain cells are, it's permanent, and yeah, you can never get your brain functions back. So some people can become retarded after, excuse my French, but yeah, I don't mean like retarded like a meaning word retarded, but it's a popular lingo. I don't want to confuse you with all the technical terms. So your mind doesn't work as well. You can't remember things. You can't think logically. Like if you have a heart attack and your brain cells down, hi, you're like, yeah, you lose your IQ. Yeah. Um, yeah, so don't have a heart attack. Can I got a 5 on that? No heart attack for you, no heart attack for me. Yeah, most people die. The largest number of Americans die from heart attack every year. Did you know that? Like not heart attack, but some kind of heart condition. Yeah, so it's pretty scary stuff. Yeah, so yeah, Chick-fil-A says chicken. Let's help you with chicken. Yeah, and it's Christmas time. Christmas time in summer. So you can cook up a turkey. It's white meat. Or you can eat pork, the other white meat. you know. Yeah. I mean, make sure you have some meat because you need like proteins to keep yourself strong. So meat. That's the way to go. But yeah, go easy on the red meat though. No steaks per day, every day. Okay, once a week at the most. Once a month or once every 2 weeks. Yeah, go easy on that hamburger as well. Go for Chick-fil-A burger. Cheese chicken burger. Yeah, those are pretty good. Um, Today is National Roller Coaster Day. Look how happy the two young women are. They look like they're marriageable age, like my college age, 19, 20. Yeah, they're very happy, and everybody's beautiful when they're 18, 22. That's when everybody should get married. But that's a romantic song. It's one of those romantic Christmas songs. It's the kind of song you hold your girlfriend's hand, and or your wife's hand, and you sing and sway, and you know with a candlelight in your hand. So you know uh, yeah, turn all the lights off, and you have a Christmas. Yeah, you have Chris, Christmas light blinking in the background. You know. Yeah, good times, good times. Christmas is coming. I can't wait. We're like how many days away from Christmas? Hopefully, I win my election, to the U.S. Congressman Virginia's 8th District. So I have more things to celebrate. Yeah, give me a Christmas gift. Vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. Send me to Congress. Yeah. But it'll be more like a Christmas gift to you. Because, if I go to Congress, I'll be like saving your lives. you know? So, can I get a 5 on that? Yeah, give me a 5. Yeah, so, yeah, roller coaster ride. I love roller coasters. I think my favorite roller coaster of all time is Disneyland, Disney World, Space Mountain. I love that stuff. Goes into the dark, and there's like, it kind of looks like the Milky Way, whatever. You have the stars going at you. Yeah, I like Space Mountain. I think that's my favorite ride. Just it's like it's like the whole experience. Um, yeah, I mean, I like roller coaster rides. you know, but it's too bad, because a lot of amusement parks are closed. Like, you know, um, yeah, King's Dominion is closed. So yeah, a lot of things are closed, which is kind of sad. But you cannot close Christmas. You can't close Christmas. So Yeah, so Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas in August. You see though, Red-nosed reindeer moving slower. Oh, I wonder if Clarendon United Methodist Church would do a sing-along Handel's Messiah like remotely through Zoom. Oh, I can't believe, we're not going to have a sing-along Handel's Messiah at Clarendon United Methodist Church in Arlington. I've been going to that like, whenever I can. I went last year, I went like year before that. I love that stuff. Um, oh man. Oh, there's another tradition that's going to be gone, thrown out the window because of COVID. You see the soldiers dancing to this one. It is a drum beat, and drums make the soldiers move. But I think Moose is the happiest to this song. Ancient Yuletide. Oh, Christmas is good. I can't wait for Christmas. I already set up my Christmas tree. Yeah. I just love Christmas, So, yeah, I mean, some of you may die before Christmas. So, I would encourage you to set up your Christmas tree. You're like locked in your home with your kids. You need something fun inside your home, decorated like Christmas. I mean, you may not make it to Christmas. So, you can have every day be Christmas. You can get like Christmas gifts and put it under the tree now to open at Christmas Day, and if you die, you sure you could open it, on Christmas Day or before that. But I hope you don't die. That's why I created this show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak. So hopefully you don't die, but you can. This is a, global pandemic. It's killing a lot of people in the summer, you know. So, but hopefully you don't die. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Can I get a 5 on that? Fingers crossed I'm not dying from COVID. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's summertime and bikinis all around. You know, uh, yeah, I mean, don't miss out on the fun. Jeez, you have like what, less than a month now left to our beach season. Whenever you can get to the beach, you gotta make it to the beach. Because I mean, geez, I mean, in 3 weeks, beach season is gone. No more bikini, no more swimsuit, no more salty water. No more riding the waves. No more sand on your feet, building sandcastles. Oh, geez, you don't know this on that. Yeah. Although, still, you have Santa Claus coming. Santa Claus a beach ball. Santa Claus a beach ball. But, yeah, I mean, you can have both if you celebrate Christmas in the summer. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, Christmas is such a great festive season. I feel sorry for people who don't celebrate it, like Jewish people who are not Christians, because obviously they're choosing to convert to Christianity. Yeah, I mean, I feel so bad for people who don't celebrate Christmas. I don't know any holiday that's like as happy as Christmas with all those happy songs. I dare you to, find the holiday as happy as Christmas anywhere in the world. Yeah, you won't find one. But anyway, oh my gosh. Oh, Christmas bell ringing. Yeah, wonders of his love. You're still alive. I'm still alive, right? Yay. So, yeah, we may die before Christmas, but hey, we're alive now. Let's celebrate that. Yeah, but some people are dead though. There are 589 people who cannot celebrate with you and me because they died in the last 24 hours. Yeah, it's a sad song, just comes into the background. Yeah. You know, Jesus suffered a lot. You know, think about it. You know, the day that he was born, you know, there was no place for him to go, his parents to go. So they're like in a manger, like he was in a manger, you know, like you know how smelly those animals are with all the poop, and the animals poop all the time. You know, it's not like flush toilet exists. You know, it's like poop everywhere. It's smelling like food with all the animals that are pooping. Poop smelling a little different for each animal. You know, and maybe some animal had a diarrhea. Oh my gosh! You know, can you imagine how smelly it was? When Jesus was born in that, you know, barn. Yeah, right? You know, Joseph had it rough. So did Mary. Jesus, and yeah, the crazy King Herod, the Gentile convert to Christianity, Judaism. Herod the Idumean who converted to Judaism. You know, that's why they call him Herod the Idumean. Because Idumeans are not Jewish. But he became the Jewish king. You know, sometimes converts to Judaism rise to the top and rule over, you know, Jews who've been Jews for like thousands of years. Um, yeah, but you know, King Herod got jealous because the three magi came and said, "Oh, we come here to find the king. You follow the star." King Herod got mad and started killing all the babies in Judea. I mean, geez, you know, some crazy nuts out there, you know. But who doesn't like good angels, right? Yes, angels do exist. You know, if you like angels or want to see movies about angels, I would encourage you to watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life. You know, I mean, you know, not everything is factual, but you know, it's kind of like cultural. Like if you want to know more about American culture, especially the people who immigrated to America from like 100 different countries in Arlington County, you should definitely watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life because that kind of gives you a picture about what American culture is like. It was like that, you know, decades ago, but it's still like that in most part of America. And so, yeah, and they have, you know, when the bell rings, the angel gets rings. You know, there are a lot of cultural things that's kind of fun, and you know, surrounding Christmas time, filled with love. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I may pick up another like ugly sweater. You know, I have an ugly sweater that's like a unicorn sweater that I had for a while. I wore that to a Korean church in Foster, and they had a Christmas party. I had a lot of fun time. Yeah, you know, I guess I won't have a Christmas party this time. But, oh well, you know, a lot of things have changed because of COVID-19. Yeah, yeah. Son of righteousness is Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't believe the liberal media. I consider Jesus Christ King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And this is one nation under God. And, you know, obviously when we say America is one nation under God, we're talking about what? Jesus Christ, who is God, right? And that's how like 90 plus percentage of Americans think with this one nation under God, you know? And you know, some people are trying to confuse Americans like Democrats, you know? Which God, you know, like everybody's God. No, everybody's not God. Jesus is God. I do not believe in the liberal media. Yeah, to be honest with you, I just do not believe in the liberal media. Um, yeah. But yeah, we had 589 people die in 24 hours. It's really sad. It's a lot of people, you know. It's like 600 people. We have average 1,000 people or more dying, and this is Sunday. So, you know, some people are reporting a little bit late, you know. But yeah, still 600 people are reported dead. It's really sad. A lot of children are going to die. You see the child singing about Bethlehem. Do you remember, like Christmas pageant show at your church? Yeah, music just stops like that. How sad is that, right? But that's life. Music can stop like out of nowhere like that. And the joy can turn to sadness. Yeah, just overnight. Yeah, let's say, think about your child dying, during the flu season. How would your world be? You see your child right now, like, at your home, and you see how happy your child is, how happy you are, and you are like, wow, I am happy. That's what you may be feeling, but can you imagine if your child were to die? How would you feel? No more Christmas for you, at least for this Christmas. It will take you maybe a year, 2 years to get over that. Maybe you'll never get over it. Maybe you'll never be the same again if your child dies. I always recommend people have more than one child because anything could happen. I recommend generally people have 4 children, you know, because if you have one child and the one child dies, you know how sad that is? Like you have no child, you're childless. Like if your child dies, young, then you have no children. And if your wife had menopause, you can't have children again. It's really sad. Because at the end of the day, what do you have, right? Your children. Your children show you the most love in the world. You think about it, a lot of parents think that they show the children love. That's unconditional. That's not true. I would say children love their parents unconditionally, whereas parents do not love their children unconditionally. Let me give you an example of that. Let's say your, 15-year-old daughter, snuck out of the house to, hang out with her friends. What are you going to do? You're going to give her what? You're going to ground her, right? You're going to maybe yell at her. You're going to give her a hard time, right? But your child does what you want her to do, right? If you ground her, she'll be grounded. She'll stay grounded. If you yell at her, she'll kind of take it. I mean, do you know anybody else in the world who will just like take you yelling at them? That's why I'm saying children show the greatest amount of unconditional love in the world to their parents. I mean, children don't show unconditional love to everyone, but children show the greatest unconditional love to their parents. Parents don't love their children unconditionally, but kids love their parents unconditionally, right? You tell them to wash dishes, they wash dishes. You tell them to like clean the room, they clean the room. Where in the world are you going to find someone who will do what you want them to do when you don't pay them? That's unconditional love. You see what I'm saying? That's why I recommend you have 4 children, especially in COVID-19. If you're working from home, just get more children. You should have minimum 4, because when you get old, what do you have to show for it? Your children. And your children have grandchildren. It's like continuous line of unconditional love. Your grandchildren run up to you, they show you unconditional love. It's just a continuation of unconditional love. I mean, yeah, the greatest thing that could happen to you is you have children and your children have grandchildren. That's the greatest joy you will have in your life. There's no joy greater than that, right? I mean, parents out there, you know what I mean. The day that you had your child, that's the greatest joy for you for over 99% of the parents. Poor, rich, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, educated, uneducated, handicapped, not handicapped, doesn't matter. Children are the greatest joy in the parent's life. That's why you should have like 4 children, every one of you. Get married between 18 to 24 and have like 4 children when you're in the 20s. And then you raise them, you have fun. That's a fun life. Other things can wait, but your biological clock is ticking. So you got to prioritize that. Getting married, that's the most important thing, right? Because you met past biological clock, there's no turning back. You can always start a new career. You can always go to college. 4 years later, um, you know, there isn't anything you can't do later in life except like getting babies. Like your biological clock doesn't turn back. You can't reset it. That's why you need to get married between 18 to 24. Um, you know, yeah. I think, ideally you're married by the time, if you're not married by the time you're 22, you're kind of a loser, I would say as a woman. Um, that's the height of your beauty. That's the height of your fertility. That's why you should get married and have children, right? Start a family. Experience the unconditional love that your children will show you. Yeah, I mean, your life will be happier, you know. But a lot of you are missing out because feminazis, like the Democrats, they try to take your joy away, but by like pressuring you to get an abortion when you get pregnant when you're 16. Have your child. I taught um, eighth graders at Peabody Middle School, which is Vernon Johns Middle School now in Petersburg City in Virginia, close to Richmond, Virginia, right next to Hopewell, Virginia, and Colonial Heights, Virginia, and like near Chesterfield County. And my student got pregnant. She's a eighth grader, like a 13-year-old, and she had her child. She was so happy to have a child, and she had a boyfriend who was a little bit older, like 16 or 17. And I hope they got married. And her mother was supportive of her having child. And it's one big happy family. I talked to her mother about it, and I talked to her about it. I was so happy that her mother's not pressuring her to get abortion to kill her own baby. And I mean, she was so happy that gave her like so much happiness in life. And the grandmother, she celebrated with happiness. Obviously, her mother didn't want her to get pregnant, but she got pregnant, and she wasn't going to tell her to kill her child. It was a savage thing to do. Yeah, so I was happy that my student had her child, and her mother supported the child, and not a single student in my class told her to get an abortion. And I'm so proud of all my students who supported her, and her child, her pregnancy, as we saw her belly get bigger and bigger. I mean, it's just she's like 13, but she's not too young to get married. I mean, she could get married with her boyfriend who was 16. They could start a family. They'll probably have to live in her mother's home. But her boyfriend is like what 16 now. He could start working. There's a lot of jobs like construction. You don't need a high school diploma, and he's a pretty big guy. Um, and then he could feed the family. And then eventually, if he wants to get education, he could get his GED. But high school degree is not necessary. You could drive a truck without a high school diploma. Truckers make what, $140,000 a year? Truckers, people who drive truck without a high school diploma, they make far more than an average Harvard graduate. Just out of college. And Harvard graduates, a lot of them have debt. Yeah. So like if you're if you dropped out of high school, or if you're over 16, get your commercial trucking license and drive a truck. Drive up. If you're a trucker, you make over 100,000. You could drive a truck for. Oh, excuse me. Let me drink some of my Diet Coke. Ah, feels good. Diet Coke. So yeah, I mean, you drive a truck, you make 130,000. You don't have to. You can start making $130,000 when you're like 18. Drive a truck. You know how many jobs there are out there that don't require a high school diploma, and you'll make far more money in that kind of job, that a job with a college degree. Do you know that? Let me list them for you. Um, Jobs that you can get without college degree, which you make more money with. Number one, um, truck drivers. You don't need a college degree. All you need is a driver's license, right? You can start driving a truck at 16. You know, like my student's boyfriend was 16, got her pregnant. They get married. She's 13. He's 16. They get married. He could drive a truck. You know, at 17, he could be making like $100,000. You know, support the family that way. They could probably move out and buy a condo or a house of their own. That kind of pay. Another job that pays like 100,000 without a high school diploma, oil rigs. Obviously, oil rigs are harder to do because you have to go to oil rig. Like if you see the movie Armageddon, you'll see you'll see an oil rig. The movie Armageddon, it's a pretty good movie. Yeah, an oil rig. Um, excuse me. Oh, I need another light. Oh, yeah, oil rig, you make over 100,000. Other jobs where you can make over 100,000. Yeah, like fixing a car, you could make 100,000. You know, real estate. I don't think you need like college degree for a real estate license. I don't know. Maybe you do. But any kind of sales, you could make a lot of money. Like, you know, let's say you become a used car salesman without a high school diploma and you're just good at selling cars. You could easily make over 100,000 a year if you sell enough cars. Um, Door-to-door salesman. Obviously, during COVID-19, you can't do that. But any kind of sales, let's say you open up an internet store of your own and you sell, you know, like mousse that you create, you know, you can make millions off of that. You know, yeah, you don't need a high school degree to make millions. That's like all a liberal lie that you need a college degree. There are a lot of people in America who don't have a college degree who make a lot of money. Like Bill Gates doesn't have a college degree. You know, Microsoft founder, and he's a billionaire. Facebook founder doesn't have a college degree. Both of them dropped out of Harvard. Yeah, you don't need a college degree to be successful. You don't even need a high school degree to be successful. You can make millions. A lot of billionaires in America, they became billionaires without a college degree or a high school degree. You know, it's about, you know, making money. It's not about studying. Making money, you know, is about selling stuff. You know, you don't need college degree or high school degree to sell things. So yeah, if you get a girl pregnant when you're 16, you know, just drop out of high school, marry her, get a job, you know, get a job that'll pay you a lot of money, like 100,000, like being a truck driver or something. And then, you know, if you want to get a, you know, high school diploma, you can get GED, but you don't need it. I mean, you know, like, you know, as you know, I'm clinical nurse leader. You know, I passed the certification exam, just waiting for my certificate to arrive. And one of the things that we learned at Georgetown University Clinical Nurse Leader Program, which is the master's level program, that's a 2-year intensive program, and there are 25 of us who graduated. So one of the things that we learned is like whenever we talk as nurses, we need to speak at the 2nd or 5th grade level. Yeah, we're taught to speak at 5th grade level to all our patients. What does that mean? All you need to be is like reach 5th grade. You could quit school. You could survive in America. Yeah, yeah. All you have to do is like reach 5th grade. You know, more than half the things that you learn from life. You know, like what you learn in books, that's not that important. Um, I mean, if you're going to be like a professor or a high school teacher or elementary school teacher, like I'm, you know, elementary school teacher at Savoy Elementary School in Washington, D.C., and an Anacostia neighborhood, then you need a, you know, college degree. But, you know, let's say if if you work at a warehouse, if you're working at a grocery store, you don't need a high school diploma. You don't need a college degree, right? Um, you could always find a grocery store that doesn't require a high school diploma. There's a Korean H Mart. You could work there. There's like Latino grocery mart, private grocery mart. So I don't know if Walmart requires high school diploma, but I don't think they should, because if I mean, you could do the jobs that you do like in Walmart with a sixth grade level education, and I don't think you should require a high school diploma to work at Walmart or Kmart, or Giant, you know. If you're an American citizen, I think they should give you a job, and if you do good of a job, you should become a manager, and you could even become a CEO. You know, it, College educated people don't make the best businessmen, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, most self-made billionaires, millionaires, some of them don't have college degrees. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so I'm all for like getting married early. If you're pregnant, you get somebody pregnant. When I was at Philmont Christian Academy, there was a beautiful, amazingly beautiful girl. She was like 15, and she got impregnated by someone who was like 17, and they got married. So she left the school like at 15, and he started his job, because he got her pregnant. And I think he's making like $300,000 a year or more now, or last time. It's not that hard to make money in America if you just try hard. In fact, people who go to college become less autonomous, some say, than people who drop out of high school and start working. Um, yeah, because they have all that book knowledge, but they don't have like practical earthly knowledge. So like going to college can actually socially impair you, some people say. So yeah, I mean, if you get a girl pregnant, don't tell her to kill her baby. Get married, start driving a truck, make the money. You'll make more money than getting a degree at Harvard. Yeah. So yeah, I said, life is not about studying studying until you die. Some people may enjoy that. I enjoy studying. It's like a hobby. And I like helping people through my brain, but you can help people not using your brain. There are many ways to help people not using your brain. I mean, if you don't like studying, you don't need to go to college. It's stupid to go to college if you don't like studying, right? Just find a job that's going to pay a lot of money. Get your real estate license. Start selling cars. Maybe Tom Byer will give you a job because he owns like series of car dealerships, right? You go to one of his dealerships and sell cars. If somebody with a Harvard PhD can sell cars, he's not going to make money. But if you don't have a high school diploma, but you can sell cars, who cares? You don't have a college degree. Do you think Don Byer will care if you're bringing in $2 million, $10 million, $100 million per year in car sales? Do you think Don Byer care that you don't even have a high school diploma? You only have eighth grade education. He's not going to care. Nobody's going to care. People care about results. They don't care about your degrees. You could have a Harvard PhD if you can't sell like 3 cars in a month. They don't want you there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, life is about proving yourself. It's not about degrees. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, if you get a girl pregnant, you're 16, she's 13, get married, start a family. You're old enough to start working at 16. You could be emancipated adult at 16. I mean, most 16-year-old boys have like body like a guy, right? They're sometimes stronger than like 21-year-old guys. Yeah. So you start a family, you're 16, she's 13, 14. There's nothing wrong with that. But maybe you want to stay with your parents for a while. Until you could save up enough money to move out on your own. But yeah, don't kill the baby. I march for life. One of the most evil things that Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf did is he issued, I think it was an executive order forbidding anybody to get married before 18. Now, what an idiotic thing to do is that? If two 16-year-olds want to get married, let them get married. What's wrong with that? Let them become emancipated adults. You know, I mean, you know, it's these. Tom Wolf is like the most idiotic guy in the world. He's like control freak. You know, he's like Antifa. I want to control your life. Antifa. You know, I hate Tom Wolf. You know, I hope he gets COVID and die. You know, because you know, like anybody who passes a law forbidding people to get married before they're 18, what's up with that? There's no respect, right? I mean, no respect for human life, no respect for human autonomy. You know, if the parents support you getting married at 16, you know, because you're pregnant, why should Tom Wolf, you know, Wolf, Tom Wolf, Pennsylvania governor, stop you? It's absolutely idiotic. Yeah, these Democrat governors, they want to just control you. You know, that's why I hate the Democrats. You know, they want to control your life. You know, yeah, they're like Antifa, you know, like Antifa is like anti-fascist, but these Democrats are more fascist than the fascists. You know, they want to control your life. Yeah, don't join the Democratic Party. Democratic Party is evil. They want to control you. Do you want to be controlled? Yeah, don't join the Democratic Party. They're evil. Yeah, they want to control who gets married at what age. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so there are 170,000, 72 people dead in America. It's a lot of death. This is summer. Can you imagine how many are going to die in the flu season? Yeah, that's coming. Right now, we have 5,403,213 people got infected with COVID. As you know, America has 330 million Americans. So, yeah, I mean, most healthcare experts say 60% of the country could get infected or more. So yeah, we have long ways to go. 60% is like 220 million Americans got infected. You see, only 5 million people got infected. So yeah, you know, wait until Christmas time. We'll be logging some serious numbers. You know, we may get to like 50,000, 50 million by Christmas. Yeah, because flu season, you know, like these infectious illnesses, they spread like wildfire. You know, in the summer, you know, these viruses like, oh, it's too hot. I don't want to move around. I want to just like settle down in a person. You know how you are. You know, when you're hot weather, you don't want to move around. Viruses are like that. All living organisms are like that. You see the lions, you know, in the jungles of Africa, they're always like sitting down and sleeping because it's too hot. Same with the virus. When it's too hot, they don't want to move around. You know, and but wintertime is different. You know, it's so cold. You have to move around to, you know, get energy, like kinesthetic energy, right? So everyone's moving around, you know, unless you go deep into hibernation, just fall asleep and not wake up, you know, like the bears. Because, you know, when you sleep, you don't need energy, right? So your body temperature drops. You find a nice warm spot, just fall asleep. Yeah, but human beings can't do that because if you fall asleep, you'll die. In the cold weather, we don't have fur like the bear. You know, you've seen those women wear like nice, warm, fuzzy bear coat. Ah, those look nice. You know, you could tell between fake fur and real fur. You know, like when you see a PETA, you know, like people for ethical treatment of animals, PETA people walk around with their fake fur. You're like, oh man, that's fake fur. You know, it's like fake news. I don't believe in the liberal media. I don't believe in fake fur, you know? I mean, what's wrong with using real fur after the animal dies? You know what I'm saying? You know, if animals die, after the animals die, for whatever reason, what's wrong with using their fur to put it on yourself? Keeps you warm, it looks nice. Real fur looks nice. It feels nice. Real fur feels nice. Yeah. Um, Fake fur doesn't feel like real fur. I mean, have you done a comparison test? Fake fur and real fur comparison feeling test? Geez, you know, you feel different, you know? Sometimes, you know, how you feel determines how you feel inside. Yeah. Like a woman with nice, soft, skin, that feels good. But a woman, who's like, has like bumpy skin and rough skin, doesn't feel as good. That's why you should get married from 18 to 22 because your skin gets harder and harder as you age. Yeah. So they say women's skin start hardening around 2026. Yeah. One of the reasons why you start drooping, like your breasts start drooping, like in any circle, people talk about your breasts start drooping, right? One of the reasons why that happens is gravity. And people talk about it. You can talk to your mom or grandma about it if you're a woman. Obviously, your dad probably will feel uncomfortable talking about it. So, if you're a woman, I would recommend talking to mom or, grandma. But if your mom is divorced, or, well, you can still talk to your mom. So you don't have to worry about talking to your dad about it. But yeah, but there are times that you need your dad, if you're a daughter, because, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's sad to miss out on being a little princess of your daddy's little girl because your mom's divorced. That's like the saddest thing in the world. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, because your mom's, you know, I mean, dad's love for the daughter is different from mom's love for the daughter in the sense like dad's one, they you never say mom's the little, mom's a little princess. Have you ever heard anybody say mom's a little princess? No, because mom is a woman, so she will treat you like a woman. You can't get anything past her because she's a woman like you. But they say daddy's a little girl because daddy is a boy. He doesn't know how women are. So you can get things past him, get stuff from him. That's why we talk about daddy's little girl. Yeah. So I feel bad for all you girls out there without a daddy because your mom got divorced. That's the saddest thing. You're missing out on so much. You can't even begin to imagine how much you're missing out because you don't have a daddy at home. Your mom got divorced. Yeah. I mean, divorce is such a horrible thing. That's why Jesus said, don't get divorced. Um, yeah. I mean, even psychologists, say like divorced children have mental issues or mental problems, are more prone to depression, more suicide rates among children of divorce. Children of divorce have harder time forging lasting bonds. Children of divorce have harder time becoming close to people. And I mean, because that mental damage. You know, it's not a physical damage, but it's mental damage, right? You're not growing up with a daddy, and you're a girl. You're not going to be daddy's little girl because your daddy's not there. I mean, you're going to have some psychological damage from that. You know, and it's really sad. When that happens. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel bad for every woman who did have a daddy. And you know what I mean. Let's say you are like 26-year-old now. You know what I mean, right? You may never admit it outside, but like inside, there's an emptiness there because you didn't have a daddy when you were growing up because your mom got divorced when you were like 2 years old or something. Yeah, there's a sadness there. There's an emptiness. And I can say that with authority because I've done the research on children of divorce, and there's a lot of research on it. You know, yeah, the worst thing you could do to your child is get divorced. There's nothing worse than that. In terms of long-term damage to your child's mental health. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. Let's go to Middle East, top five. Iran has 343,203 cases and 19,639 deaths. 60% are dead. That's the most. But death rate dropped significantly, right, after Iran. Saudi Arabia has 298,542. Death rate is 1%. And 3,408 are dead. That's like about 3 days in America, typically, in the summer. In the winter, that'll be like half a day, maybe, you know. Um, Iraq is 176,931 cases, 5,860. It's like 5 days in America, 3% death rate. Qatar. Qatar rhymes with Caesar. Qatar, Caesar. Qatar, Caesar. Yeah. Yeah, that's his name, Caesar. Um, yeah. So Qatar has 115,080 cases. The death is at 193, less than 0.2%. Jeez, 193. That's like what, one third of how many Americans died in the last 24 hours. And Qatar had only 193 deaths since November 2019 to now. I mean, it's like there are probably more car accident deaths than that. There's probably more people dying just like tripping over a rock. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. Yeah. Israel actually is doing pretty good. Look at that. I mean, it's made it to, it's been clawing its way to number 5 because, it's dropped out of the rankings for a while. Now it's back up there, ranked number 5, Israel. Baruch haba. Baruch haba. It sounds, that's how Americans pronounce Baruch haba. They say Baruch haba. American accent is so funny, when you go to Israel. All these people speaking Hebrew with their American accent. When I was at Claremont graduate school researching with Professor Vincent Wimbush, like Toni Morrison and African American identity, individual identity and group identity, with Professor Vincent Wimbush, who was, I think he was the first African American president of American Academy of Religion, which is like the biggest academy of religion in the world, and has all the professors of religions being members in America. Obviously, I'm a member. Yeah, I did some research on African American studies with him at the professional level, and yeah, I used to go to like events put on by Hillel House there, and the rabbi was a reformed. I think she was reformed or conservative rabbi. We would jive in Hebrew, and she couldn't speak Hebrew very well. She had a very thick American accent, and I'm really good at Hebrew. We would jive in Hebrew, and all these Jewish kids, like Jewish students, and like Claremont McKenna, what is that? Scripps. There's a whole group of colleges in Claremont. They're looking at us. They're all rich kids. That's where all the rich kids go. Claremont, Scripps. Millionaires and billionaires. Yeah. So they would look at us. But I'm fluent. Wherever I speak Hebrew better than the rabbi on campus. I'm sure I speak better than the rabbi at Georgetown. Yeah. Um, yeah. Actually, I talked to the rabbi at Georgetown. She doesn't seem like she could speak Hebrew, But yeah, yeah. I don't think she's. I think she said she hasn't really lived long in Israel. I lived in Israel for over 3 years. But yeah, so Israel has 92,680 cases and 685 deaths. So 0.7%. So Israel's doing pretty good. Not as good as Qatar. Not as good as Singapore. Singapore dropped out of the 5 rankings and it's never made it up yet. Who knows? Maybe in the flu season they'll make it up. But yeah. So yeah, it's still summer. Don't forget to have fun. I would hate to see you miss out on all the fun in the summer. Jeez, it's summertime. Oh my gosh. Look at all the beautiful women in bikini. Obviously, God created those beautiful women for you to appreciate the beauty of God the Creator. Geez, every one of them look like angels in my book. Yeah, but angels in bikini. Yeah, but yeah, this week it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have so much fun this week because Democratic National Convention is every day. I'm wondering, like, there's several things I'm wondering now. Let me get some more Diet Coke. I don't know why I'm kind of thirsty today. It may be all the beautiful women. I do feel a little warm inside. you know, uh, God is good. God is good all the time. Creating all these beautiful women. Oh my gosh, that's how much God loves us. Whenever I see beautiful women around me, I say, well, God loves us. God loves me. Yeah, God is such a good God. you know. But anyway, yeah, let's go back to the topic here. Um, COVID-19 America, can Tin Man Joe, as AKA Joe Biden, and Kamazilla, AKA Camilla, Camilla Harris, convince you to vote for them? Well, Hillary doesn't know. Hillary's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's Hillary. Hillary's not sure. Um, yeah, it's Biden Harris 2020. Actually, it sounds good. Biden Harris. Maybe Joe Tin Man Joe picked Camilla because of the last name, right? Because that's like normal last name, Biden Harris. It almost sounds like a name. Like if Camilla Harris, does she have a child? I think she's too old to get a child. If Camilla Harris adopts a kid, a son, Camilla Harris could call him a Biden Harris. Yeah, but she's married to a guy, right? Yeah, but he's like insignificant, entertainment lawyer or something like that. So I think he should take Camilla Harris's last name, you know, and then when they adopt the child, they could call him Biden Harris, you know. Actually, it's a nice name, Biden Harris. Biden. Is that like a name, first name? I mean, it sounds like a first name, right? Biden. Yeah, I could see like Americans naming their kid Biden, first name Biden. Hey, if there's nobody with first name Biden, give me credit. I'm the first one who said Biden could make a good first name. Well, that's if he wins. Like if he's a loser and he loses, who want to give their child a name of a loser? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind naming my daughter Reagan or son Reagan. Is Reagan like a girl's name or a guy's name? I think there is Reagan, like people with first name Reagan. So yeah, I guess I won't be the first one to do that. I'm not married. I've never been married. I'm not even sure. I'm saying in the future tense, if I marry a beautiful woman, like the woman who's holding a fish, but without a tattoo, because I hate tattoos. I mean, just why would you want to destroy your beautiful woman's body with a tattoo? Doesn't make sense to me. Geez, nothing like a beautiful, smooth skin without anything on it. Like no tattoos, no pimples. Um, no scars, perfect skin. Yeah. Like if you have like a horrible burn mark or a cut or I could see you like getting a tattoo to cover it up. Even then, I prefer like a small wound mark to like a tattoo. Yeah, because your body is beautiful. Why would you want to like mark it? Unless you're using a temporary tattoo. Why would you want to mark it with a permanent tattoo? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, don't get your tattoo, body tattoo, because especially if you're not married yet. I mean, I don't want to marry anybody with a tattoo. You know, it's distracting. you know, tattoo can be very distracting. Um, yeah, I just don't like tattoo on a woman. That's just me, but a lot of men are like that. Um, yeah, so I don't know. It seems like all of them are having a cow. Like Camilla looks like Camilla's having a cow. Camilla looks like a Kamazilla, right? Right? They kind of look alike. Yeah, Kamazilla. Kamazilla. And Biden, Tin Man Joe. Yeah, he's I don't know, he looks kind of clueless. He's like, what's going on? No, you're not supposed to say what's going on. You say what's going on. Yeah, semantics. Yeah, Tim Man Joe, his double right there. Uh, Tin Man Joe, Tin Man Joe. Tin Man Joe kind of looks like the British soldier. He's like there's similarities. With Tin Man Joe, Tin Man Joe, Tin Man Joe. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So. Yeah. Like that's a nice body. That's the kind of body you should have. Wear a bikini, have a nice, do some sit-ups. Like at home, you could do like 100 sit-ups. Get your stomach to look like that. Yeah, don't start with 100 sit-ups because you get cramps and could injure yourself. Just start, with 5 sit-ups, 10, gradually build up. The other girl is beautiful too, right? The girl who's kind of, like taking a knee. Um, yeah, on a yacht near an island. Yeah, I mean, if you're a woman, you should strive to be like that with that kind of body, that kind of stomach. If you're a man, you should strive to marry a woman who looks like that. Life is about hope. Life is about life is about achieving. Like getting married to a woman like that, that's an achievement. Geez, that's an achievement that most men would die for. Now, obviously, if more women get to a body like that, it's easier to make that achievement. So women who do the sit-ups and the push-ups and not eat chocolate, ice cream, and all that sweet stuff and have body like that, you're kind of doing the world a service. You're bringing a lot of joy to someone. I mean, you thought working at a soup kitchen and giving food to the poor people are bringing happiness? You have a body like that and marry a guy, any guy, you're going to bring a lot of happiness to that guy. For most guys, if it's choice between food and marrying a woman like that, they will starve themselves to marry a woman like that. It's just men are like that. Yeah, men, yes, a way to men's heart is through his stomach. So men do like to eat, but men like women with that kind of body much more. Yeah. So if you're a good Christian woman, I encourage you not to eat ice cream, bonbons, potato chips, all that food. Try to maintain your body mass index, BMI. Weigh yourself every day. Measure your waist every day, your thigh every day. Make sure you're not kind of getting fat. Yeah, it's a service to yourself. It's service to God, who created beauty. God created your body beautiful to be beautiful, and you're eating all the junk, making your body less beautiful. It's like, not honoring God in a way. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, and they could bring so much joy to your husband if you're thinner. You know, Obviously, don't do stupid thing like bulimia and anorexia. Eat something. You could eat vegetables. You could eat fruits. You could eat meats like chicken in moderation. Small amount. Anything in large amount could make you fat. Just eat in small amount. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah. So yeah, have 3 meals a day, just like small amount. You know. And if you're hungry, just like have a banana. Just buy a whole bunch of bananas. Just have a banana when you're hungry. Yeah. So yeah, control your weight. It's important. Now, we know, I don't know Hillary from Benghazi victims. That made her just like famous. Like people who didn't know who Hillary Clinton was in the United States of America, they got to know who Hillary Clinton was because they were so upset at what happened at Benghazi. Yeah. Some of them came out to vote for President Trump just because they're pissed off at what happened at Benghazi under Hillary's watch. Yeah. People who never voted in their lives just came out to vote for President Trump. Yeah, just to spite Hillary. Oh, don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, these are not normal times. We have COVID-19, and there are some really nice matching bikini and mask. You know, when you're at the beach, it's a fashion statement. If you have to wear a mask, why not, right? Um, and we know we had the George Floyd protest that descended into defund police chaos. and police cars being burned by defund police hooligans. That was a traumatic experience for many Americans. Watching that on TV traumatized some people. I mean, I'm not surprised that there are Americans who are going through PTSD just from watching it for 2 weeks on screen. These police cars burning. Yeah, and some Americans are saying, I want to click my red slippers or red shoes together and say, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen the movie, you gotta see it, or you won't understand the reference, right? As you know, I created the literary device key signifier, and I wrote a book about that. I shared that with you. And key signifier is a literary device that triggers collective memory. Obviously, if you don't have collective memory, then you're not going to be triggered when the rest of America is triggered. Like when I say, like red slippers, click them, go home. Majority of Americans who are real Americans know what that is. I consider myself real America because I understand these cultural references, But if you don't understand these cultural references, but you're nothing but an, immigrant. You're not, if you want to be part of America, you got to understand American culture, right? So you need to watch like Wizard of Oz. It's an important part of American cultural heritage, I mean, Godzilla is important part of Japanese cultural heritage. If you don't know Godzilla, I mean, you don't know Japan. You see what I'm saying? It's like that in America. If you don't know Wizard of Oz, you don't know America. How could you say you know America when you don't know Wizard of Oz? It's like an oxymoron. Moron, oxymoron. Yeah, I'm not calling you a moron. I'm saying it's oxymoron. Hey, don't get all like Huffy and Puffy. Yeah. So, but this week's gonna be fun because they're gonna mess it up. We're gonna be all watching, and these Democrats, they'll be messing it up left and right on screen. I wonder if Russia or China or Venezuela or North Korea will sabotage Democratic convention. Would it be? I don't know if it'd be funny, but it may be funny. Would it be like maybe funny if North Korea or China like hacked into Democratic National Convention and put up the face of like Chinese president or North Korean president? you know, I mean that would like freak out the whole world. Thankfully, American security is good enough. I don't think they could bypass our firewall. But we may have somebody in America, one of those Antifa people, left of Biden, who may like hack into democratic system. It's easier to do from America, and then like put up like faces of I don't know, Shay, whether yeah, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it hasn't started yet. Democratic National Convention hasn't started. It's starting tomorrow. At noon tomorrow, Hispanic Caucus is meeting. Yeah, that's the first thing that happens, Hispanic Caucus. So Shay may be like in the forefront, Shay. Let's see what happens, like you could have China hacking, Russia hacking, North Korea hacking in. You could have countries that we don't know about hacking in. Anybody could hack in, right? If they have the skill, they have the skill for hacking. You could have like some 16-year-old girl hacking in from like Hackensack, New Jersey. Yeah, and you won't be able to trace her because she's so good at hacking in. She'll make a name for herself as the Hackensack hacker. Yeah, who knows? Maybe new stars will be born. And when she gets caught by the FBI, they'll bring her into FBI because they need her skills. Yeah, I know that happens a lot in movies, but that happens in real life because there's some gift. If you could hack into Democratic Congress and start putting on faces of like Harry the Owl, for example, oh yeah, FBI will want you to work for them. That's for sure. Yeah, you have a job right away. It's like better than a resume, better than like 10 references. You actually can hack the system. We need your skills. That's what FBI will say. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'm curious what's going to happen this week. So there are like several things that can happen. Number one, you could have all these Democratic politicians making fool out of themselves, either because they don't know how to operate the system, or they're like they're not speaking into the screen, like their face is over there. Only thing you see are their nose. We're gonna see some freaky stuff this week in the age of COVID. When it's done remotely. Um, have you ever tried to speak in a empty room? Everything is silent. It's just you. you know, that's going to impact politicians because some politicians, they need a crowd. Without a crowd, they can't speak. They go numb. Yeah. Some politicians get stage fright because it's too quiet. Some politicians get stage fright because there's like nobody in the room. Yeah. You know how you get stage fright because there's a lot of people in the room? Some politicians have the reverse. They're like reverse flash. Like they they have cold feet when there's nobody in the room. They can't express themselves properly. So because this is like remote and it's not gonna have like thousands of people in the room, you're gonna have some politicians speaking this week who are gonna look weird because they're not used to speaking like giving political speech in an empty room. Yeah. Some of these politicians will freak you out. Watch what I'm saying. So that's the one thing that you're going to see. So I encourage you to tune into every show just to catch like errors, mistakes, and idiosyncrasies, because there's going to be a lot of funny stuff happening. Number two, um, you're going to have, like, as I said, like a problem with like people hacking in. So I'm sure every hacker in the world is going to try to hack in because can you imagine how famous you're going to get if you succeed in hacking into Democratic National Convention? Like generally it's physically held. So, like hacking in doesn't really do anything because you're there physically. You know what I'm saying? But because this is 100% online, if a hacker hacks in, hacker can be sending some kind of message, to millions of people who are watching. You could say, Harry the owl is the greatest being in the world, and Harry will reach like stardom, or they may, whatever, they may, who knows what kind of message they're going to set up, especially if it's live. Can you imagine like being there and somebody hacking in and flashing like a crazy clown or something, or maybe like, a nutcracker soldier, police soldier. you know, uh, yeah, I mean, you would definitely have to get a temperature check, to see, well, temperature went down. It's like 33.1 now. Yeah, you really have to get yourself checked from your hospital. Then you're at a hospital, temperature's dropping. Um, yeah, so that's the second thing that could happen. Um, yeah, if you have it's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun this week, And we have so many things happen. So this third thing is the content. What are they going to talk about? Are they going to talk about the post office? Are they going to talk about what happened with Georgia Floyd protests? Are they going to talk about, Kamazilla or Tin Man Joe? What are they going to talk about? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Look at Hillary. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, right? And it starts tomorrow. Are you excited? It starts tomorrow at 12 noon. I mean, I don't know if they'll be airing everything, but it starts technically at 12 noon. Maybe they'll have like a pre-Oscar, red carpet thing. These Democratic, oh yeah, there's nobody walking in because it's all online. But who knows? Maybe they'll have like a pre-show, like flashback to good old days when people actually got together as a group. I bet some people are going through major depression now. I wouldn't be surprised if there are Democratic politicians experiencing serious depression. Yeah, because Like politicians live for that stuff, like Democratic National Convention. There are people who probably been counting down for 4 years. Like, oh, the Democratic National Convention is coming. I'm a delegate. I get to go, and it's like a hype. When I went to American Federation of Teachers 2018 National Convention in Pittsburgh, and it's held every 2 years. Um, it was a rush. No, I have to admit, like you had like many people there. I represented Local 6, Washington Teachers Union, right? And yeah, it's a rush because you're there with your fellow like delegates, and like they're delegates from like Los Angeles Unified School District, San Francisco Unified School District, Chicago Unified School District, New York Unified School District, everywhere, And I think there's an AFT at Fairfax County Public Schools. And so, yeah, they come and like they represent their ground, and you're like talking, and there's small sessions where you go debate things out, and yeah, it's a rush, and it's probably like how it is in Democratic National Convention, right? So can you imagine like people who are like counting on doing that, and some people hook up, because they're like a lot of beautiful women there, and like and some, I'm single. I wouldn't mind like going on a nice date at a on a convention with somebody, I wouldn't mind that at all. So yeah, like women who look like that with the like flat abs like that, with yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. And so like when people go to conventions, some people meet their future husband, wife, at the convention, right? It's like a big pool of future leaders in the party, right? Or present leaders in the party. I mean, there's like a date pool. You could hook up and get married. So I bet like a lot of people are depressed. People who are looking forward to meeting their future husband or wife, who could become a senator or House of Representative member or governor or powerhouse within the Democratic Party, businessmen who want to do wheeling and dealing and get the government contract that's like billions of dollars. No can do now. Yeah, I mean, a lot of businessmen are upset, politicians upset, and it's like Democratic National Convention is the kind of place where like, House, like Senate staffers and Congressman staffers, they could start talking with other powerhouses in the Democratic Party and kind of move laterally or vertically, promotion, a lot of jobs are created, it's chance to get ahead politically, these conventions. Now you don't have that chance, how sad. It will take you like 20 years to get where, you could have gone in like one convention. Yeah, a lot of opportunities happen in conventions, and they happen like, over like, glass of wine or, glass of beer or over coffee or just hanging around in a session or, I mean, it's people are people, right? People don't officially do things all the time. Sometimes people get jobs just because they say something like in a convention without even submitting a resume. Yeah, you could get hired. So like these opportunities no longer exist. The big market for job is gone. Big market for marriage is gone because convention is not there. Can you imagine how depressed these delegates are? They can't even go to like Wisconsin. And they're like at home in their living room, for the convention. How could you get psyched up, there? Like nobody's psyched up for this convention. I mean, some people maybe. They even look at that. Joe Biden doesn't look psyched up. Tim and Joe doesn't look psyched up. Kamazilla doesn't look psyched up. Hillary's like, I don't know. That's Hillary. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for these Democrats. I mean, I don't feel that bad because I've been a lifelong Republican and I'm running as an independent now. I'm Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress and Virginia 8th District. Tom Byer must be bumming. This may be his last season. If you give me my victory this November, Tom Byer is out of here. He is out of here. Uh, so this could be his last Democratic convention, you know? I mean, how bummed can he be? I mean, he has his millions of dollars and his, hordes of car dealerships where he could hire people without high school diploma. He has that to fall back on, but, I mean, geez, where is the glory in that? A lot of things just happen behind the scenes. But this Democratic convention, Tom Barr could have gone there and he could have hobnobbed with all the powerful people because he's pretty important in the Democratic political infrastructure. And all this, you know, people be worshiping him where he goes, like a lot of people. He won't have that. Can you imagine that? Some of these politicians live to be worshipped by like Democrat following, and none of them are going to experience that. So can you imagine like the withdrawal that they're going through, the depression? I mean, I guarantee you tonight is probably the most depressing night for Democrats. Yeah, like the night before the convention, and there's no physical convention. I mean, we're talking about collective depression for like over 50 million Americans. Now, even people who are not going to be at the convention, they're not going to be psyched up just looking at like face of Kamazilla and Tim and Joe. It's different like when you have like panoramic camera to show the people, the delegates. You have interviews of the delegates on the spot. You have people walking around, all the excitement, brouhaha. And, people yelling this or yelling that, like thousands of people. Watching that is more fun. Now you're like, nobody's yelling. Just looking at like Tim and Joe, Kamazilla. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, I feel bad for you guys. I mean, not that bad, but I do kind of feel bad because I could imagine how bad it is for you. Oh gosh, it's gonna be. Oh man, I mean, it's gonna be a fun week for us because it's gonna be a horrible week for Democrats. I mean, there's like what 80-90% chance of failure. This convention will fail. And Republicans, they don't have their convention now, so they'll learn from all the failures of the Democrats. So they could like improve on it. Yeah, sometimes it's not so great to go first, like in COVID-19. Imagine like all the Democrats are guinea pigs. Like for 1 week, it's going to be like Comedy Central, just like looking at the natural things that they do. It will be like funny as heck. So yeah, don't miss like even one episode because it will be so funny. Like people trying to convince an empty room, it doesn't, like when a Democratic politician is speaking and you have like thousands of people cheering, you almost get convinced because like thousands of people are cheering right on screen. But you're not going to have that. You're just going to have like Joe Biden speak. And you'll be like, man, that sounds so stupid, Tin Man Joe. That's why I'm talking about Democrats. They're like, I didn't know how stupid Tim and Joe sounded until like now. Like fans of Tim and Joe will be like dissing him on like in the living room when their children are there. Look at Tim and Joe saying this. That doesn't even make sense. Like when thousands of people cheered, you could say, I am king, and then everybody cheers. You're like, oh, maybe he is king. You know what I'm saying? But if there's like nobody cheering, it's like, I am king. Like, man, what an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Just having like the background music or the background crowd cheering you on and visibly cheering you on, that makes a big difference on how people feel about the speaker. Because people are emotional beings, right? So I don't know how the Democratic Party is going to be able to make up for that. Maybe there's a genius out there, and maybe we'll see a genius of a marketeer, new genius marketeer being born. Who knows? But there's like 80% chance of this failing just on so many levels. That's why I think you should watch it because it's, it's possible that Democratic convention itself may be the reason why Joe Biden Tin Man Joe and Kamazilla loses. Not only that, if they do things wrong in this convention, they'll lose the House. Like you may have like 100 new, Republicans in the House. Like this is like nationally televised. It's internationally televised. If they botch things up day after day for like 5 days, or how many other days that they're on, yeah, this may be the reason why you lose your Senate seat if you're a Democrat. I mean, it will help me obviously because Tom Byer, will be adversely affected by failures of a Democratic convention. It will only help me obviously. So I can't cry crocodile tears over what's going on with the Democratic convention because I'm running against Tom Byer. I'm independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat, but I'm a very conservative politician. As you know, I'm more conservative than a lot of Republicans, and I encourage you to affiliate yourself with me. Yeah, I'm a Democrat saying like they may be completely ruined after this week. Like Democrats may be completely ruined after this week. Oh my gosh, I'm a historian, so I know how like what one day can do to a movement or a group or legitimacy. And this is like 5 days that they could fail. They could fail for every single day of the 5 days. It could be the end of the Democratic Party as we know it. Or it could actually be the end of the Democratic Party, period. Things like that happen in history. I know Democrats out there watching me now don't think that it could happen, but it could. Yeah. Your party may end because of the failures of this week. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but it could. Um, So, I mean, obviously, that's the worst case scenario for the Democrats from their vantage point. If their party ceased to exist because of the failures of this, or, they have a landslide defeat, you know. Um, yeah, because you could, the saying, give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. You know the saying? That's an American saying. So you gotta know these things. If you're in America, you immigrants, I'm an immigrant too. But you gotta know these things, This is like an American cultural thing. Yeah. So, yeah, you give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. Yeah, that's a saying in America. So that may be the motto for this week. If you give the Democratic Party enough rope, they'll hang themselves. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. See, Hillary doesn't know. She doesn't even know. And she is like what? Major leader in the Democratic Party. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't wait till tomorrow. The first day. Let's see how they fail. Let's see how the Democrats fail tomorrow. No, I shouldn't say that. That sounds so mean. I'm just trying to be like God, who's mean. God is the meanest being in the world. I mean, he killed everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah, including believers, because he hates homosexuals. That's how mean God is. You know. But I feel bad about like wanting Democrats to fail. I mean, I don't. Well, yeah, I do want Democrats to fail. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is like COVID-19. I do want Democrats to fail. Give me five. Give me five on that. Give me five. Who else wants Democrats to fail? Yeah, but but it sounds mean saying it though. It's one thing to like think it. It's another thing to say it. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Why should I lie to you? Because I may die, you may die, we all may die before Christmas from COVID-19. This is not time to lie to each other. So truth, honesty is the best policy, right? That's what they say. So yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. But let's all watch tomorrow and see what happens in the first day of the Democratic Convention. Uh, oh my gosh. Oh man, they're gonna mess it up so badly tomorrow. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah. So let's talk tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today. It's good to see you. I created this show to save you and your children from COVID-19 death. So you should actually be thanking me. But yeah, can I get a five on that? Give me a five. Give me a five. Yeah. So So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long day tomorrow with all the brouhaha. Brouhaha. Ho, 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 ho. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you laugh. Yeah, but you know how you laugh, right? That's how you'll be laughing tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. So I want to hope you'll be well, and then your children will be well. And I'll bid you adieu and a goodbye for now. See you later, alligator.